Hi everyone. Welcome back to Aether Eternius, Dark Side of the Foundry. Sorry we didn't stream last week. Had some bodily health problems, and always gotta make sure you take care of yourself. But last time, you guys had pretty much woken up from your nice little inn stay. You had some breakfast. Totally didn't have terrible dreams that you guys did not talk about. No. Sure, it's fine. But eventually you started kind of looking around town. You wanted to really start to kind of get your feet into this investigation, find out what the hell's going on. And of course, naturally, this brought you to the Court of Autumn, or at least their district of Wonderland. After some wandering around and some eventual asking, you eventually made your way to the Bureau of Autumn, where you were met with a ticket system. Basically, the DMV of Wonderland. The ticket you got wasn't great, but you were told to wait. And after some sneaky spellcasting, due to your resident white rabbit, you guys were able to get in to see the current acting chief. And for the most part, you did some coercing, some persuasion, kind of trying to push yourself on as a neutral party that is looking into this case, especially considering the fact that a lot of stuff in the plains is also riding on this issue, as well as the whole, Jericho, Florence, Cobalt Gardens fiasco that's also happening. But after some contemplation, Sire Leonhardt, the current acting chief, did sign you on as junior investigators. You got your badges, he sent you on your way, and on your way to the palace to start your investigation, you got jumped. You got jumped by a couple of redcaps who were after your coin purse. And they messed you guys up pretty well, if I remember correctly.
So did our
And we
healer.
splattered them.
And you especially Various, who turned one into a charred exploded husk. That was pretty great. But you guys are now kind of sort of sitting at the front gates of the palace itself. The palace itself is massive. It's almost on its own island in a way, because you had to cross a bridge overlooking what seemed to be an endless abyss down below, for the most part. But the palace is sort of centered on its own island. You can't see to the bottom of whatever ravine that surrounds the entire thing, but it has tall, almost burning spires, one would say, as if the entire area is almost covered in a perpetual sunset that makes the brass and the gold that composes most of the towers and the buildings almost look like it's on fire. This is all offset by marble that is used for the bulk of the building itself. But before you is a huge promenade that you would probably guess that will usually hold like parades and stuff like that lead to the eventual front staircase and into the grand foyer and the massive fountain that leads the way to the main entrance of the palace. There are guards present. Several are still on patrol, as if nothing really is amiss. They do seem to be turning away casual visitors. And as your group begins to approach the sort of main gate entryway, you are indeed stopped by two heavily armored guards. The first one kind of looks you all up and down before saying, "We're sorry, citizens are not allowed in the palace at this time."
So yeah, upon this, Wilfred whips out the badge from Tyre Lionheart. We're here on official business.
The second guard will kind of move forward, take the badge from you to get a good look over it before handing it back. It's like, of course, our apologies. And they'll turn and start opening the kind of not really wrought iron, but it's like thick gold bars that are very intricate, very much woven, almost looking a lot like vines, but in sort of an intricate sort of patterning. Kind of like have you ever seen those shirts that tend to have like the vines and flower patterns on them? Something like that, but in gate form. And they begin to open the gate for you, kind of leading the way into the actual promenade of the palace itself. And the entire front courtyard of this place is covered in bright gardens, hedges that are kind of fit with the theme of this whole sunset, gold and brass look that the entire palace has. It's almost as if it's trying to, what's the term for it? Show off a specific season or something. At least, that's what it looks like. Several of the hedges, several of the flowers are very fiery in color with yellows, oranges, reds, auburns, and golds all over the place. All kind of on a backdrop of marble. As you head up to the main doorway, the doorway is huge. This thing is massive. Like, we're talking 30, 40 feet tall. And it's also made of the exact same sort of material that the spires themselves are made out of, sort of a brass gold that seems to reflect the sunset light very well. The entire door almost is carved in a elaborate tapestry of different portraits and depictions of different fae. But as you approach, considering that you were let in by the front guards, the guards at the doorways will sort of move to begin opening up the door itself for you. But not in the traditional sense. One of the guards off to the side will actually go to a panel on the side and almost pull something down. There is a whirl of clockwork gears and steam that seems to echo out as the doorways begin to crank open. To another image. The inside is very much the same as the outside. Marble floors, marble walls, with gold and brass trim. However, unlike the bright decorum of the outside, inside it's a much more dull and almost reserved. However, this also tends to come with the fact that the entire atmosphere of the palace feels heavy. You will have several options available to you here. You have a set of lower rooms, as well as sets of upper rooms that are accessed via a grand stairwell, or a grand staircase that's in front of you, as well as the ability to go down into the dungeons. Or you can also investigate the front foyer.
So where are we starting off here?
I'm guessing the prince isn't in these dungeons, correct? Or are they?
You're currently in the front foyer, aka the base level of the palace.
I know, I'm just asking though. Are they being held here? Or...
You know that he's being held in the royal dungeons, yes.
Oh, okay. Miriam will pipe up and be like, maybe we should start there, at least instead of walking in blind throughout the whole building.
So you mean questioning the prince then?
Correct.
Sounds decent enough.
Whoever wants to, can you please give me a perception check?
No.
Holy!
Damn, Luminosa.
I came for one with 4 eyes.
Luminosa, as you're kind of walking through kind of the foyer of this place, your eyes kind of go toward the various statues that depict various different types of creatures. You have dragons, you have phoenixes, unicorns. From the looks of it, several of these statues seem to be more collective art pieces, but Upon further inspection, you realize that there's a layer of dust along not only the several banners, but the statues themselves, as if this area hasn't really been well kept. In fact, the more you start to look around you and listen, you realize how quiet it is in here. Where are the servants? Where are the guards? Where is everyone? You have a feeling that this place should be a lot more well lit, a lot more populated. It almost seems dead.
That's worrisome.
Was worrisome.
There's no one here.
You don't have magical servants?
It's a prison.
Perhaps it's an oubliette.
It's one opulent as hell prison.
It just means there's less people to get in our way. Let's go down. The dungeons are always down for some reason.
The dungeons are in fact not down. As you guys begin to kind of head along the halls, eventually the hallway kind of curves into a central area, almost, before it leads into what looks to almost like a spoke wheel kind of pathway. At the very least, it continues further back, and as the further back you go, it still keeps that same marble, brass, and gold appearance, but it does get more heavily fortified with more brick and mortar, more metallic reinforcements of the doorways. And as you work your way back through the palace, now you're starting to see a few more guards, mostly blocking what look to be sort of choke points. And considering the fact that you are walking through, they pretty much kind of already get the idea that you've been allowed in, since you seem to be not trying to sneak around or anything. So, eventually you'll reach what looks to be a very heavy wrought iron door that is bolted, looks really heavy, and it actually takes the guard pulling on a massive latch to pry it open with a huge resounding creak. Back here, there is not a whole lot of lighting. At the best, you have some basic torchlight leading the way. The glitz and glamour of the marble, gold, and brass have long since fallen away outside. And now you're kind of surrounded by cold, hard brick stonework. Up ahead is several rows, from the looks of it, that lead through what looks to be the center of several sets of large barred cells. Most of them are empty. However, at the far end on the right side, you see that there is a bit of light shining out from one of them. Almost like candlelight.
Think we found whoever's residing down here.
How do you choose to approach it? Or do you want to investigate the other cells?
Freya's will just go straight to the lit cell and look in there.
Okay. And Freya, as you walk forward, kind of passing by the other cells, not really paying them much mind, you kind of arrive at the final cell on the right. It's kind of in a corner, backed against several walls, but it's a surprisingly lofty, spacious cell. I mean, this is a royal palace after all. But inside, there are indeed looks to be a candelabra, specifically on a small bedside table. There's a rather, I'd say, average-looking bed tucked along one corner. There's a dresser where the candelabra is sitting. There is a table. There is some basic amenities here or there, but more importantly, there seems to be someone sitting on the bed. They haven't noticed you.
Is the rest of the group coming up, or?
Yeah, Rose or Wilfred follows after Miriam.
Okay. Everyone else?
Oh, I think they still have children. Oh,
Go ahead.
Excuse me, we are looking for the unjustly imprisoned prince. Have you seen him?
The figure on the bed. Let me get you guys a picture of him.
Yeah, Tibbs is checking all the cells before catching up. Never know when you're gonna notice something. Not that he cares, really.
Well, let's start with there's a Reginald sketches for you in OOC, and let me show you his token as well, or his icon. The young man inside the cell is an Eladrin, from the looks of it, especially considering the fact that this is an elf in the Feywild. He has a very stark golden blonde hair. His eyes are almost a rich amber with some amber-colored makeup or mascara along the top of it. He wears a similar kind of theming of amber and orange when it comes down to his outfit, and he seems to be at least modestly clothed in not really royal clothing, but the clothing one would see an adventurer would be wearing if they had just been brought in and pretty much incarcerated. As for you, Tibbs, as you're following behind the group to kind of catch up, you do notice that several of these cells are barren. There's no chains on the walls, there's no torture devices. They just seem to be empty rooms.
I guess they just converted the dungeon into a hotel, that's all.
Essentially, yeah.
Ah, the Hotel Cala dungeon.
Yeah. But as you speak up, Luminosa, you see the figure sort of look up, and he kind of squints at you for a few moments before giving a shrug of his shoulders, like, I'm the only one in here.
So no prince then.
Yeah. That's what I'm supposed to be, yeah. Who are you? Did someone send you down here or something? Look, I've already told all I could to the Yotum Court.
Well, we're looking for the prince to clear his name.
You're looking at him.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah, I
He
know
kinda
it's
narrows,
Hey.
he's kind of narrowing his eyes at you. It's like, what's that supposed to mean?
I'm sorry, I thought you were a Fae prince. There'd be a little more pizzazz.
It's not my thing. That was more me better's thing. He was more the glitz and glam.
Huh.
This has to be the least impressive dungeon I've ever had the disservice of going to.
What were you expecting?
Torture devices! Something! Ways to keep the prisoners on the wall so that you can torture them proper!
You do know a dungeon is just for holding people, right?
Ow, no. That is completely incorrect.
there's worse ways I can torture you than with crude devices. Anyhow,
Go ahead.
Was that Jin?
yeah. So, like she said, that you were supposedly unjustly put in here then, and well, we're gonna find out why that is the case. Or rather, who's supposedly framing you.
You kind of see him shrug his shoulders, like, I just heard news that my dad had been murdered, and I came home, and then they decided to arrest me. That was it. There's no real elaboration to be had. They literally, the moment I show up, they just slap me in chains. And the worst kind, iron. You see him rub his wrists a little bit. There seem to be old burn marks there.
This sounds like you've been set up. Just a quick question. Who was the first person that you saw when you got back?
First person, the same people I always see. I usually see the guards. They tend to guard the entryway.
And did they slap you in irons?
Not immediately, no. didn't happen until I came home.
And who did you tell that you're coming home?
It's kind of obvious if you saw the giant doorway on the way in. Kid aggro. Jen, did you want to say something? I heard you.
No, I'm good.
Well, they got kid aggro again.
Mhm.
And we're back.
Come back.
Who did you let know that you were returning? That's the most important part, because that means that someone knew that you were coming back, and that's the person that probably put you in the chains.
Well, the entire reason I found out about it was because my mum sent me a letter telling me what had happened. Then I came home.
So it was your mother.
She's the one that alerted me to something that happened, yeah?
And why, per hell, would the queen frame her own son? That seems very unmotherlike.
He just looks confused, like, my mum didn't do anything. She just told me what happened. If anything, she's the entire reason I'm still alive. The damn Summon Monarch was more than happy to already send me to the gallows the moment they caught me. She was the one that rose a fuss along with the Winter Queen, entire reason I'm even in a cell in the first place.
So,
Mhm.
who, when you came back, other than your mother that you saw, was the one that immediately said you were the one that killed the king? Who jumped on that nugget?
Summon Monarch.
So we need to prove that Summer did it. And it's framing this poor, innocent child.
I'm a grown man, thank you.
Poor, innocent child.
What doesn't make sense to me is your mother sent you a letter,
Aye.
and then you arrived, but your father was already dead.
Aye.
And how long did it take you to get back here?
Took me about a week.
So your father was dead for a week before you arrived back, and then you got arrested.
Aye. That's the entire reason why I'm still alive, is because my mum brought up that argument. And right now they're working on an investigation to try to prove I did something, while the Alton Court is trying to figure out the others.
Varys, I don't know if you remember what certain courts were like back home, but this has all the smells of a set-up prosecution.
Let's rewind a little bit here as well then, because you previously left the castle, left Wonderland entirely.
That was a long time ago.
It must have been a good reason for you to leave and then come back upon the news of your dad's murder.
He kind of shrugs, like, I'll be honest, I kind of left for a selfish reason. I was sick and tired of the silver spoon, the royal life. I just wanted to get out and wanted to do what all the heroes did in the stories that my mom used to read me and my brother.
I'm just saying
I'm
that.
wondering it. Oh, sorry.
Just figuring that, if you were tired of royal life, then that's probably why your detractors are using that as overframing you. It's like, did you get tired enough of it to the point that you lost the old man then?
What were you saying, Az?
Yeah, what were you saying, Az?
Phrase was gonna ask how the person got the knife. Did, like, as if they left it here when they left, or...
Reginald just looks really confused. What do you mean?
A little birdie told us that There's a certain blade that's passed down in your family, and that blade was found on the body of your dad.
I mean, that would make sense. It's a family heirloom, but that damn blade couldn't cut a piece of bread. It's purely decorative. Always has been.
Has someone tested the knife to see if it actually made the wounds on the king?
Hells if I know, but I know I used to play around with it with my brother, and we never got cut. Got us in a lot of trouble, sure, because it is a bit of an antique, but...
Could your brother have done this?
we haven't seen him in years.
That's not a no.
What was your brother like?
He's a bit of a flighty type, very flamboyant, in your face. Really loved entertaining people and just being all over the place, but... as far as I knew, at least from correspondence with my mum, is that he kind of left on the same sort of deal I did. Much later than I did, but...
And what kind of deal is that exactly?
leaving to go see the world. See what there was out there. Find a calling.
What's your brother's name?
His name is Flex.
Excuse me, what?
Flex.
A slow head turn. Flicks, you say?
Aye. He is me older
Staring at
brother.
Luminosa.
That's ridiculous. I don't remember being a prince.
The young man in the cell just looks a little confused at what you're muttering about.
Right. That's, yeah, let's just put that in the notes here. Anyways, alright, so, as far as you're involved, it's the Summer Monarch has it in for you, then.
Aye. Old Baron Moran really was not happy to see me for some reason. Immediately was starting to accuse me of it.
Do you have any past grudges with this person?
Not really, no. I mean, me pa and him didn't really get along, considering they're both summer court, but... he was ever sort of the... well... the Baron was always a bit of a purist, and he really didn't like when me dad married me mum.
Have
And
we
he
just glazed over
really...
the part where your brother's name is Flicks?
Hey, what about it?
Luminosa, perhaps some kind of introduction would be in order.
The young man just looks very confused.
I told you. I don't remember being a prince.
Okay.
A Fae prince. That's something I think I would have known.
Could you please inform this prince what your name was and what you looked like prior to your untimely demise, and perhaps they will confirm whether or not you are the same Flicks that is supposed to be inherent to the throne.
Hold on, what was... you said that your name is Flex? What was your last name?
My name is Luminosa.
Okay. He kind of raises
your
a
last name?
brow at Tiberius.
What was your last name when you were Flicks, Luminosa, or have you forgotten that as well?
Like you said.
Narrowing eyes, judgingly.
But I don't remember being a Fae prince. Again, something I think I would have remembered.
Did your brother like wearing blue?
Not really. He kind
Did
of
he
wore
have
whatever...
golden locks of hair?
Reginald literally takes one of his front locks and kind of motions at it. Both me ma and me pa, it's the same color. It runs in the family.
Did he have butterfly wings?
Not that I remember, no.
Ah, there we go. Then it's not you.
There you go.
Did he like glitter?
It's the same as me mom, of course he loved glitter.
So it could be, or it could not be, that you were the prince's brother before your run-in with Mataract.
I held my own.
Right. Let's get down to one mystery first. The Summer Court seems like the most obvious ones that wanted you out of the way. Personally, I wouldn't have been so obvious if I were trying to plan some kind of assassination and take over.
The Baron never really liked me and my brother, considering we're half Archfey and half Eladrin. He was a purist.
If you hadn't mentioned that.
What exactly did your brother look like? Was he an Eladrin?
It was the same as me. We're both half Eladrin, actually. I mean, he was a bit more elegant, sure. Wore his hair a bit longer than I did. Was more of a perchance for flashy outfits. He had much flatter teeth than I. He kind of shows a small smile, and he's just got rows of like shark-like teeth. He had a bit more of the Eladrin flair than I did. I took on more of the Fae aspects. He was older than me too.
And when did he disappear exactly?
I don't know. I left before he did. The only reason I know that he left is my mom wrote to me in a letter that he had just up and vanished.
So he wasn't training under an ambassador? He just disappeared?
Yeah, no rhyme or reason. The only thing we know is that he took his loot with him.
What kind of loot? Could you describe it, please?
It was an old family heirloom that was passed down by my mom. It's made of oak, had various vines and floral patterns along the base of it. It was a gift for his for one of his birthdays from my mom. He's always had a knack for the music, so.
Monosa. Would you be? I've seen you in the morning with hair poking out.
No, you
Would you
haven't.
be willing to?
Look.
I mean, no.
Look, if you have any more questions for the case, I don't know what else I can tell you. My mom might know more.
Could I request one thing from you? It sounds a little odd, but it might be helpful in use to prove your innocence.
Okay.
Could I have
Don't say blood, don't say
a little bit of blood, please?
God damn it!
Why would you need me blood?
Certain scrying magics can be used with blood. Other things, if we do find some kind of hint or the attacker managed to escape but injure themselves, we could compare the two using scrying magic.
So, I need you to roll me either deception or persuasion.
Oh, deception or persuasion, you say?
Depending on if you're being truthful or not.
I mean, they're both +9, so I'm gonna roll perception. Wait.
Oh, shit, okay.
Persuasion.
But, he seems to be squinting at you. One ear is raised up, the other one is lowered before he kind of shrugs like, I did not have any weaponry to draw blood, considering the fact that, he kind of holds a hand up and motions around him.
Yes, I'm sure one of us could abide. Perhaps a lock of hair would also be enough. Varys, do you have any spells that could be of use for this, or are we going to have to outsource this?
Let me... Give me 1 second. Let me...
Now, if we do come across your brother,
If you
We-
do, tell him to come home.
we shall do that. For now, one mystery at a time, right? Hello, adventurers?
Just
Pushing
do the
myself
thing.
over here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we may want to try and figure out what went on with the Baron, because
Well, the first thing to find out is exactly when did the king die, because that will tell us who was around at the time of his passing.
I have a question for the DM.
Yes.
Would identify do anything with blood?
I would say no. Their blood really isn't hiding anything. It's just blood. I mean, you could roll
Could it
an
identify the royal
Arcana.
lion?
You could roll an Arcana with it, perhaps.
Okay.
No, what? Could identify identify the royal lineage in the blood, maybe?
No. You would need
Don't
more
worry.
of a. You would need more divination magics for that.
Don't worry, Various has Arcana covered. Right, Various?
Yep. Yeah.
Whew. Thank goodness, because it ain't me.
Why do I feel like we're about to have a really long, boring conversation about my past?
various if you don't have any
mean, you haven't-
scry, I do too.
Are you serious?
Oh my
I mean, you haven't even drawn his blood yet. He's literally said he has no sharp objects
Okay.
to do that with
Thank
yet.
goodness. Thank goodness for that.
He has. Why would they put a prisoner in a cell with a knife?
What do you have? A knife.
No!
Various will step up to the bars and hold out his paw. Let me see your hand.
And Reginald will. Well, the prince will. He don't have his name yet. Will slowly kind of get up from the bed and move over to you. He's very lanky. He would look malnourished, especially up close. But you don't know if that's just their natural physique or anything. And they'll hold their hand up to you. Their nails
Various
Their nails very much are painted amber colors.
Various is going to pull out a dagger and one of the vials from his potion maker kit. And is going to put it beneath beneath Reginald's hand and likely cut a finger.
Okay. And it's not red, at the very least, when the blood is drawn. It's actually more of a golden amber color. It almost flows a lot
That's
like sap.
unusual.
Original just blinks like, what do you mean?
Just don't mind me. Not used to Fae.
Well,
Looks
do you
like
have
a
a,
year and a half with Blix.
do you have anything to catch any
Our
of the
characters. That's what I said. He brought out a vial from his
Okay.
kit.
So yeah, it kind of drips into the vial, similar to how like maple syrup will start to drip into something. It's a lot like pouring sap out of a wound.
Is blood supposed to do that?
My blood's always done this.
To be fair, I think the group has only been together at most 4 weeks at this
It's
point,
been a
even
month?
though it's been like over 2 years.
No.
Yeah.
Are you telling me I killed myself in a month?
Yes.
Yes. Like
In
in-game
less than a
time, yeah.
month.
In less than a month.
In less than a month.
In-game time, yeah.
Flix pulled all that
Yes.
poop in less than a month.
Yes.
Wow.
Gotta learn how to pace yourself.
I'm rethinking my whole life right now.
You have made poor choices.
It wasn't very long. I'm sorry.
Pay in mind, you also went through a
Everything
lot
in
of
my new
hell.
life.
So, the Baron is a possible lead. We still have to speak to your mother, who could give us a different lead. What's your mother's name? Please don't say Hortensia.
Me mom? Oh, that's Amelia. Amelia Astragon.
Amelia Estra what?
Astragon.
Astragon.
Oh no, not
And-
Astra. Not here.
That's the family name, yes.
Astroglen?
Astragon, yes. I'll write it in OOC for you.
And you would be then
Reginald Astragon.
Reginald Astragon.
Aye.
Why can I see like young Vix being like, "Oh, Reginald" every 5 seconds?
God damn it.
Just to piss off his brother.
Oh, Reginald.
Oh, Reginald.
And he kind of
That's why Reggie left.
but no,
Yes.
but Reginald does have a bit of a sheepish grin. It's like, pay in mind, if you hear anyone saying Reggie, that's me. Even the servants called me by that nickname. You can blame me, brother, for that one.
See, still looking at Luminosa with squinted eyes.
Feet won't massage themselves.
God damn it. Right, so
Worst brother ever.
we'll go and take care of trying to clear your name. It doesn't make quite much sense if you were gone for a week and then arrived and immediately got clapped in irons.
He looks confused, like, I've been gone for years.
Returned. Your father died, and then a week later you returned, but you weren't there for his murder.
Aye.
Yes. Someone is very bad at framing you.
Somebody's bad at murder.
That's pretty much what Tiberius is saying.
Well, if you find anything, I hope for the best.
What say you, chums? Shall we see the Queen next, or does someone have other questions for Reggie?
Yes, chums.
Very
Let us...
slow. You go ahead.
Oh, sorry, Jen.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, you're just making off hand
Let's go see the Queen and never speak of this conversation again.
I don't think we're allowed to see the Queen, unless I remember something wrong.
Oh, you are.
Oh, okay, I must
You're
have
allowed
missed
to
something.
see her.
Various just corks the vial. I suppose so. Though his eyes are staying up on Luminosa.
There is one other question I do have.
Aye.
Although its relevance to this case is tangential at best. When you were still residing here in the castle, were there any mortal retainers?
Aye, we have a couple.
Mm-hmm. Well, that seems fair enough.
I have a question. An OC question.
Sure.
Does this place look like that place we were in Fire? That
No.
was saturated with negative magic?
No.
Okay.
That comes later.
Oh, I see.
What was the what?
No.
Freaking wonderful.
Right. So, I believe we're good to go then. Yes?
Reginald will actually head back over to his bed and instead of sitting down, he just kind of lays down and faces the wall.
I guess I have one last question. Is there anything you would like us to investigate for you?
Hell's if I know. I just want to know who killed my dad. That's all. He was a good man. He didn't deserve it.
She'll nod and start heading back up to, Oh gosh, I should have wrote down all the locations.
It's on the same base ground floor. You're just at the very back of the castle.
So,
Alrighty.
we have the Baron and the Queen. My obvious idea is to speak to Queen. Matriarchs are usually behind most of murder. Oh, the subscription, goddammit! Not just an issue.
No, remember that the leaders of the families, like the noble families where they're from, are all women.
Well,
So
yeah, that's right.
they're the
Not wrong.
the people in charge who stab each other in the back are usually the matriarchs.
The biggest cat rabbit fights you've ever seen.
Cat rabbits. Cabbits! Oh my god.
Oh my god, cabbits.
Let's not go there. Alright, so Tiberius is going to wait for everyone else to be ready to go up the stairs before grilling Luminosa.
Yeah.
No, there's not this at all.
Oh yes,
Various is also staring at Luminosa as they start to depart.
My sons, run away.
Darius has already been
you have
walking back.
magic.
Just waiting.
Escape. What was
So
that?
you guys are leaving the dungeons?
At the moment, yes.
What was
Mhm.
that?
I said something though.
Yeah.
Oh, Freya's already had walked away and is now waiting for everyone else.
Freak's like, I'm out.
Peace out.
So, Luminosa. I understand not wanting to be anywhere near family, so I will not pry. However, you are royalty?
What?
You are royalty.
No.
He just described your loot.
So, why? Denying the hair?
Perhaps she has a thing about her hair, very self-conscious. You know, like some Hoppolitions and their overlarged ears. Wait. Rouse, is there something about hair with primordials? Is that something that isn't supposed to happen?
Speaking to the primordial that
Oh,
does
the
have
Lord,
flaming
so
hair.
Rose, who has hair, it's like,
It's like it's all a lie, and then it shows that he's bald.
oh my god! It's all wigs!
It's all wigs.
Can we just go
Flaming
find the queen,
wings.
please?
That doesn't answer the question. Fine, let's go find the queen. Where would she be?
Luminosa, please.
Yes.
Is there a reason for?
It. I wear a big hat.
You just see Various's hands go up like, what?
Oh, it makes sense to me. If Luminosa does not want to speak about it, we'd be fools to try and press the matter further. Perhaps later on, when she's feeling far more talkative, we could discuss the matter. But for now, there is a murder for us to find, and I believe we have a limited amount of time before the Summer Court makes their move and has Reginald's head removed from his shoulders.
Yes, let's find murder.
Commit or find?
Whichever order we need.
What Freya said.
So are you guys heading back to the front foyer where kind of everything branches off?
Yes.
Mhm.
Question though.
Yes.
Is there a ballroom that we can walk by?
Oh no.
So, as you return to the foyer, there are several rooms that you can visit. On the lower floor, you can visit a dining hall, a ballroom, the servants' quarters, or the kitchens.
Oh, we gotta go to the kitchen. There could be food in there.
Can Freya's take a quick look into the ballroom if it's on the way?
It's not on the way back. It's a case of once you return to the foyer, heading back led you to the dungeons, but there are side hallways that lead to different rooms. The servants' quarters are near the kitchens, and of course the kitchen is connected to the dining hall and the ballroom. So it's a case of where would you like to go first?
What was Luminosa saying about the other rooms?
Just that Luminosa wants to go to the kitchen at some point to see if there's sweets there.
Why not check now? And she'll start going down that hall.
Okay.
So you're entering the kitchens first?
Yep, getting the sugar high out of the way.
Alright. As you kind of go down the hall, you eventually turn into a rather spacious and large kitchen. There are several lines where food prep is usually done. There's huge pantries. What would you like to look at first? It's like a typical kitchen. The stoves are not lit. There's no fire. There's no coal or charcoal burning. It seems to be very barren, like the rest of the palace.
No one around?
Not that you can see, no.
Well, since they're in a kitchen, Rose is going to, while they're there, is going to look around for any sort of, like, cutlery, like any sort of, like, knife sets, blocks, anything like that. Is going to wants to see if anything
investigation.
Investigate. I don't know why. Okay, I don't know why that was rolling with disadvantage, but that's still not great.
As you're kind of just walking around the kitchen at this point, that's a cabinet, all right. Yeah, those are countertops. It sure is a kitchen.
Why are we here again?
Luminosa, specifically. As they're entering the kitchen and kind of looking around, you just kind of have a familiarity with the place. You know exactly, specifically, where the queen kept her bonbons. And you start heading toward the back pantry, and kind of pushing aside the fruits, the vegetables, to a small secret compartment. Almost like you're on autopilot. And sure enough, there are several boxes back there filled with chocolate-covered fruits and the like.
How many boxes are there?
At least 3. One of them has already been opened.
Okay, so I'll take the 2 unopened boxes. And I'll steal a bonbon from the open box.
They are rich, they are delicious, and this is candy that rich people usually eat. So, yeah.
Rich people candy. The best
It's rich
candy.
people candy, yeah.
Freyas has been standing at the door watching Luminosa do this and like, so, about your past. Maybe it's coming back?
No. That's crazy talk.
Unless you have bonbon vision, I'm impressed you found that.
I think I remember being a Fae Prince. Come on. Let's not be ridiculous.
We're not getting away from this, are we? There, let's deal with this problem, Luminosa. Perhaps you had some kind of head trauma from one of your terrible performances, and resulted in you losing your memory.
Excuse you and your entire race?
Excuse
My
you.
performances are phenomenal. They made the heavens cry.
Luminosa. Do you
Yeah.
remember anything about before you started working with Jericho?
As you think, Luminosa, you can't think of anything.
No?
Amnesia Bros.
That's... So... And
Oh my god, Jericho kidnapped a prince!
so what I'm understanding is we have to figure this out so that we can return Jericho from whatever state they're in, so we can grill them about how they abducted a prince.
Sits down. So you've stolen a prince.
Oh god, maybe they threw you in a sack to beat your father with.
Oh my god, it makes perfect sense. See, I told you it would work.
God damn it.
It all circles around. That's where Flakes
Can't
got the
ultimate way.
idea.
It's the ultimate way to beat the guild. It worked on the Fae.
God damn it.
Well, how about we delve in this later, share a bonbon, and I have something I want to check.
Yes, please do, because I am not making any headway here.
Well, we haven't spoken to the Queen yet, and apparently if we don't deal with this, every one of us is going to eventually come back to asking Luminosa, what the hell?
So if anyone else wants to investigate the kitchens, I need an investigation roll.
I have no idea what I even want to be investigating there, so Tiberius is skipping on that.
Grace is more interested in another room.
Okay, no problem.
That was
Oh, he knows his parentage, all right.
that
So
was
is no one else investigating?
well, considering that the king was stabbed, I was thinking, where would be the first place you would find a knife? Maybe we could find some kind of clue in here then, but so far I'm turning up blanks.
Would you really kill a king with an ordinary knife you found in a kitchen?
I mean, a weapon is a weapon.
How dare you? If you're going to kill someone of import, you use an important weapon.
Wow.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Besides,
Don't give this to him.
isn't he some kind of super fae? Dork fae? What?
You remember
Oh,
Reginald
what?
saying You remember Reginald saying something about being half arch-fae?
Yes. Tiberius is saying the name wrong.
Yeah.
Dork Fae.
I don't know, Reginald was saying it, but I was half paying attention.
Nerd.
It's a fae with glasses.
God.
Now, if I do recall, someone was mentioning something about those special fae being very hard to kill. I don't think a common everyday kitchen knife, unless they've enchanted it with some kind of, I don't know, eldritch blood, would be able to off a king of this magnitude.
Well, they'd probably have to have something that would be done in iron. Maybe enchanted iron.
Which would then indicate, can fae wield iron? He said that he was clasped in
No,
iron and it hurt.
Burns them.
So then the murderer would have to be someone that wasn't fae if they used an iron knife. But
Or
we
they
can't-
were using some sort of gloves or enchantment on a glove so that they could wield the iron. There are ways around wielding iron.
We don't know what the murder weapon is other than the ceremonial sword, the dagger that has no sharp edge to it. So it can't be that. The queen is our best idea at this point. However, is there anything else in this kitchen that you could possibly think of? Where did Freyas go?
Freyas.
Reyes!
Ferris has walked away and went to the ballroom.
Damn it,
Okay.
Reyes. That's why we can't have nice things.
Tiberius is going to give the most half-hearted attempt at investigation because he does not believe that there's anything in here of any value.
Okay.
Super half-hearted.
You kind of go through a couple of the cabinets. There's some food that's packed up. It seems a little rushed with some of the way some things are packed in there, but maybe it's nothing.
Nothing here. Nothing of importance. Shall we just continue on? And someone find Freyas. Fine. I'll find Freyas. Freyas!
Wow.
He's just gonna
Considering
start walking.
The kitchens
Walking and
are
yelling?
attached. The kitchens are attached to the ballroom and the dining room, so it's up to Freyas to respond.
Well, my question is, does the ballroom look familiar?
Not to you. However, as you walk into the ballroom, it isn't empty. There are tables, table sets, and cloths set up, but it looks almost like it's been half prepared. There are some chairs that are still stacked, some tables that have not been set up properly, as if it was stopped halfway.
She's just gonna take a few more moments to look around before turning back and being like, alright, I'm coming, as she returns to the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
I usually pay other people to have investigations done for me on whom would have possibly tried to be murdering me. So my next guess would be to talk to the Queen, see what she thinks, and then go and confront the Baron. He does seem to be the most likely to want Reginald put aside, or perhaps, I don't know, wanted the entire family to be done with because he's a purist. What is a purist, after all?
Someone who doesn't like mixed blood, obviously.
Why wouldn't you like mixed blood? I mean, as long as the ears are straight, what's the problem?
Someone who doesn't like straight ears.
Well, that makes sense.
And I just look at the rabbit.
Tiberius seems to be completely lost as to why you're looking at him. What? Do I have something in my teeth?
No, you've got something on your soul.
Oh no. We already know that.
Anyway, to the Queen.
He's gonna leave the kitchens.
At this
Looks
point,
like
yeah.
it.
Okay. And you guys begin to head back out into the foyer. From what you can tell is that the lower floors are mostly for like public spaces, dining halls, ballrooms, kitchens, servants' quarters. So your best bet is to head upwards to the upper towers. Do you do that?
Yes.
Okay. Then you guys
Oh,
head up
God.
you head up the grand stairwell, and as expected, this place is just a tiny bit more well lit. But more importantly, you start to see more people up here, specifically guards along the hallways. They seem to very much be keeping this entire floor in lockdown. In fact, as you enter the second floor, a guard immediately approaches you. Halt! Do you have a reason to be up in the upper echelons of the palace?
Yes, we're here to see the Queen.
Furious will just flash the badge.
Very well. But you are only to see the Queen and investigate no further.
Why?
Because we have already completely scoured those rooms, at least according to the Autumn Court's specifications. There is nothing more to be found there.
But you could have missed something. See, I have special eyes.
God damn it.
As it stands, according to your badges, you only have clearance to speak to the Queen.
But could the Queen give us clearance to check the other rooms, to clear her son of murdering her husband?
If you plan to question the Queen, I would recommend doing so soon. It is nearing her bedtime.
She has a curfew? What kind of matriarch has a curfew?
Would you just direct us to the Queen's
Hold on a
room,
second.
please?
Anyway, sorry about that. I was being interrupted. What'd you say?
Can you just direct us to the Queen's room, please?
Of course. And the guard will start to take you down one hallway. And they pass by not very many rooms. There's not a lot of guest rooms here. There are some like little open areas that maybe people would like hang out around, have tea for. There's what looks to be a library that is completely closed off with several guards standing in front of the doors. But they take you to what looks to be a much larger set of doors, and very similar to the front doorway, they hit a latch that activates clockwork that begins to crank and open the door in front of you. The room itself is massive. It's grand. It's gorgeous. There's a huge balcony that seems to overlook the entirety of Wonderland. There is a massive four-poster bed, gorgeous, well-kept furniture that is emblazoned with gold and brass. There is a large table that seems to have a half-eaten supper on it, as well as a bottle of wine that has been half drank. But more importantly, there is someone standing in this room. They are over by the balcony, looking over Wonderland itself. They seem to be garbed in, I would say, simple robes, almost a dress, but they seem to be robes that one would wear that not so much for pleasure or everyday, but more robes for mourning. The individual is tall, lithe, and you can tell, at least from looking at their back, they have long ears, very similar to Reginald's. And their hair is almost to the floor, but it is braided, and it is a golden color.
Which one of you have had any kind of experience speaking to a matriarch?
We've spoken to you, haven't we?
No, I do not leave my house.
And the guard moves forward before kneeling. My lady, you have investigators from the Autumn Court here to talk to you. And the woman doesn't immediately turn around, but she seems to tilt her head to the side, almost looking back towards you. It's like, thank you. Before the guard gets up and leaves the room, closing the door behind all of you.
While we are currently under the employ of the Autumn Court, we are not here on their behalf, truth be told.
The woman doesn't seem to talk too much. She actually looks right back out into Wonderland.
We take it that you are under the impression that someone else murdered your husband, and we are here to prove that. If you have any information for us, that would be helpful, Your Majesty.
Then you would be correct. She's very soft-spoken, from the sounds of it. She doesn't have the same accent or bolsterous tone as her son does. It was definitely not my son.
And do you have any idea who it would be, Rose? Help me out here.
That I'm afraid I do not know.
Yes, we... Sorry, go ahead.
As of right now, we only have the servants and my own eyewitness accounts to account for. And as for me, it's the same story that I have told Sir Lionheart. I was in my room preparing for bed, as I always do, waiting for my husband to return. But as the minutes passed and he did not come upstairs, I went to go look for him, and that's when I had found him dead. Not a sound, no commotion, nothing. Nothing felt wrong. Everything was quiet, there was no signs of struggle. He was simply dead upon his throne.
And the ceremonial knife was at his feet, on his lap, out the window, in a bush?
It was found cast aside in the throne room.
And Reggie, or Reginald, I believe, said that that knife couldn't even cut bread.
Yes, it's purely a ceremonial piece. More importantly, at least from what I could tell, there was no blood on the blade. And it was broken.
What would have had the means to even be able to kill your husband?
My husband was a very powerful archfey. The type that mortals would often pray to for power and guidance. To kill him, I don't know. One would have thought they were unstoppable. But unless we know the true weapon, we wouldn't know what killed him. Only to know that the only wound upon him was through his heart.
Direct stab, no signs of struggle, no noise, everything sounded normal, so either magic to muffle the sound, or he died so quickly that he didn't get a chance to call for help. It's times like these I wish I actually paid attention in divination courses.
Tell me, is there anyone that is quite possibly intimately familiar with the guard patterns?
Well, naturally you would have to talk to the captain of the guard then.
Your son believes that the Baron might have had something to do with setting him up. Your take?
The Baron and my husband never saw eye to eye. Never did enjoy my presence, truly. He is not a fan of people who are not of pure Fae blood, holding dominion over Wonderland. He is an old-fashioned Fae.
May I
But at the
ask?
same time, he had never made moves to usurp the throne, merely made his disapproval very vocal.
May I ask?
Of course.
Is the Baron at all subtle?
No. If he would have done something like this, he would have challenged my husband to his face. But he was well aware that he could not beat my husband in a fight. They had sparred before, and Siegfried at every time had always brought him low. It is a tradition in the summer court that if you have begrudgance with another, you challenge them to open combat. Anything else is disrespectful and dishonorable.
So look to Tibbs, then look back.
What? I already told you we'd kill each other in combat.
Is this a public display or private?
Public, of course.
Then
As-
I must
as such
ask.
As such a duel is judged by their peers.
Jin?
Go ahead. Go ahead, Jin.
Then I would ask, are there any who are, how do I say this, would be subtle or quick, who would look for in terms of infiltration or assassination? And that is their specialty.
That would usually befall either autumn or, in some cases, spring. But neither have ever had any grievances with my husband.
You know,
At least
could
not
say-
At least not that I know of.
Subtlety is subtlety.
If anything, the spring monarch has always been quite cordial and quite welcoming to both of us.
I just want to throw this out there to my fellow detectives. It could also be those individuals that have been constantly causing trouble where we've come from, You think
A
we could-
possibility, but they are under those the particular two are under lock and key.
No. The ones who wear the blue and gold, Various.
The other assholes.
Yes, those.
Yes.
Because if I were trying to destroy one part of existence and I didn't want other people getting in my way, I'd cause some kind of kerfuffle like this. Not saying that was me. I'm just saying if I were to try and overthrow something, I would ensure that any allies or potential allies would be too busy squabbling amongst themselves to actually lend a hand.
Your Majesty,
Yes.
I know this may be disrespectful, but is there any way we could examine the wound?
I'm afraid that the body is currently not available anymore. As per the ordinances set forth by my husband, he was to be cremated upon his death.
That's not sus.
Ah,
It is the summer court tradition when a ruler falls that their body is cremated.
Ah.
Do you have any powerful mages that actually are good at divination?
Not among our court, no.
Well, this is very difficult, but we will do our best to prove that Reginald is not the murderer. Can you tell us more about your son, Flix?
My son Flix?
Yes.
What would you like to know about him?
Oh, I don't know.
Everything.
I'm afraid you must be specific.
The last time you spoke with him, was he going to see an individual named... What was the name again, Luminosa?
Jericho.
Jericho, yes.
I haven't seen him for almost 5 years, but no. In fact, he left rather quietly, which was very unlike him. And I'm afraid I do not know who this Jericho you are speaking of.
What's the evil name for them?
The evil name.
I don't think you got that name.
No, we did.
Yeah, we did.
But
Auntie told us.
does anyone remember it?
Wait, are you talking about...
Mercutio. Mercutio
Yeah.
and Tybalt.
Do you say this out loud?
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to ask about Mercutio and Tybalt. Would you have gone to see them?
And finally she actually turns to face you, and she's a very fair, elven maiden looking woman. She looks very young, surprisingly, but her face is very downcast, which is obvious. The poor woman's in mourning. Yes, I'm aware of the names of the Cobalt Princes. However, they are barred from entry into Wonderland. As far as I'm aware, they were currently being held passive by a mutual party, but they're not welcome here.
Slow look at Luminosa.
I see. By chance, would that third party that is keeping these individuals in check happen to be some kind of bandersnatch?
I'm afraid I am not privy to the inner workings of what is currently going on with the Cobalt Princes. Considering that it's not my job.
Various is like raising his hands to the others, like, can I say something? Like, should I say something?
If you don't, I will.
All right. There was a Flix that we knew. They were within the primordial planes. They were under the tutelage of a the less volatile forms of these two. And he's just going to shuffle back and shove Luminosa forward.
The woman looks a little distraught, but shakes her head like, no, my son would not affiliate themselves with them. As I said, he left alone one night without warning. No flare, no flash, just silence. Very similar to how his brother decided to go about leaving. I do not blame them. They were both very adventurous boys.
No note as to why he left?
No. Unlike Reginald, who kept contact via letters, I've heard nothing from my eldest.
Tell me, was there any sort of item that he could have taken with him?
As far as I know, the only thing he took with him was his loot, which I gifted him for his 21st birthday, I believe.
Once again, Various shoves Luminosa forward.
And it would be a very particular loot, not just one you've, say, bought from any old store.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure you'd be able to identify it the moment you see it.
Perhaps. It has a very unique magical signature.
More shoving.
Looks at Luminosa. Let's get something out of the way.
Hey, how forgetful was your eldest son?
Just show her.
I'll sigh and I'll take out the loot.
She kind of looks over the loot curiously. It has a similar pattern, but it lacks the magical signature. Well, it's just a normal loot. It's very pretty, though. I'm wondering if someone had seen a similar pattern, and it is a very lovely loot, regardless.
I have a small question, Your Majesty. This magical signature, would it have been tied to, say, someone's well-being?
The magical signature I speak of is something that my forefathers placed upon the lute. It is said that whenever it is played, it would always create the most beautiful melodies possible, even if the player does not know how to play the instrument.
Oh, so what you're saying is that anyone who played this instrument probably was a hack and didn't know how to actually play the music.
How dare you!
She kind of frowns at this. It's like, it was more of a learning tool when passed down through the family.
Looking at Luminosa with a smirk.
I am no hack, and I play the best music you have ever heard in your entire life.
You should play for the Queen then!
Fine, then I will!
Go ahead!
Okay!
Very well!
The poor
Apparently
queen
playing
looks
for the
so
queen now.
She looks so confused, but go ahead and, if you want to, roll performance.
Oh my god, I don't have lessons to it anymore.
Holy
Apparently I don't need it!
Fuck you, Tiberius. Go to hell out.
I would like to point out that is the second nat 20 specifically from Luminosa this session.
God damn it!
Luminosa's secretly a ranger. This is their forever terrain.
But almost as a field by spite at this point, Luminosa, you take out your lute and you begin strumming an absolutely gorgeous tune. And the queen is simply just watching, but in her mournful gaze, she does offer a small smile as a result.
Aw.
You're very skilled, I will say that.
Me, a queen said I'm skilled. Take that! I mean, I'm very sorry for your loss, Your Majesty.
If anything, this has been a welcome distraction.
Could we ask one favor from you?
Of course.
Could you give us access to the rooms just to see if perhaps the Autumn Court, in their haste, missed something, and access to where your departed husband was murdered?
I can at the very least give you access to my son's rooms and the guard towers. The throne room, however, is on the lower floor. That is where he was killed.
And we can just waltz in there without a problem then?
Yes, I'm surprised you didn't go there first. Usually the investigators they send usually have gone to the throne room first and foremost.
We're unorthodox, that's why we've been hired. Third set of eyes.
I will go ahead and let my guards know to let you look around the upper rooms then. If you can find something, then anything at this point will help. But I will say, if you do find something, don't bring it to me. I would ask that you either take it to the Autumn Court Monarch or to the Winter Queen. At this point, they're two of the few people I can trust.
You can trust the summer guy?
I meant to say Winter Queen.
Okay.
Not summer. The Winter Queen and the Autumn Monarch
Okay.
are the ones that apparently she trusts above all else.
That makes sense. I'm like, oh my god, you trust the guy that probably offed her husband?
He's Noah's trusted advisor.
Oh my god!
And he twirls his mustache
Is
every
he
time I
wearing
see him.
all black and are you in the middle of the desert?
Right, so we'll go to the throne room then and investigate further.
I want to see some of these rooms.
Yes, that too. Yeah.
Right. She'll go to the door and pull one of the levers to start opening the door before looking at the guards. They have my full permission to explore the upper rooms. And the guard will kind of hastily nod, like, of course, my lady. So, doors are open to you. The upper floor is open to explore. Yes,
It lives
I
on.
remember this.
Right. You know these individuals quite more than the rest of us, and Luminosa, as we've seen, obviously had some kind of bout or physical trauma to the skull, therefore forgetting their existence, or perhaps you were some kind of doppelganger. Who knows? Could you give us an idea as to why, or did you seriously say?
Yes.
I see. What was I saying? Rose, you should be leading this, as you know these people far more than, well, myself or Various or Freyas.
Hmm.
Or is it just common for primordials, once they get their new body, to forget their entire old existence?
Actually,
However-
yes.
Ah.
Ah. But no, that's not helpful.
Well, I remember my existence, Flex. I just don't ever remember being a Fae Prince.
Let's check these
I-
rooms. Go ahead.
May I suggest? Is there a way that we could contact Auntie?
I'm afraid not. She hasn't been seen in quite some time.
Gonna kind of lean into Varys. We could always go talk to the giant feline. He had a stone that communicated with her.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's correct.
But now, perhaps examining these rooms would be best for you all to do. I will simply go to the throne room.
Are you gonna try to walk away from the group, Tibbs?
Yes.
The
Various
guards will
is
stop
going-
you.
Oh,
They'll hold a hand out. It's like, we would prefer if you either stayed in the group that you were with. We do not allow people to wander about the halls without supervision.
So you're
This is the
offering
DM
to...
saying, please do not split up.
Damn it! Oh, fine, all right. Let's go check these rooms out. Perhaps one of us will see something of importance, or, I don't know, they've hidden the secret umbrella they used to murder the king in one of the vases.
Ooh, it's like Clue.
What's a clue?
So,
Something you don't have!
so everyone give me an investigation roll.
Question.
Yes.
I can ritual cast Detect Magic.
Okay.
Can I use that for some sort of advantage, or has it been too long since the murder?
It has been way too long since the murder. It's
Yeah.
been a month.
Figure I ask anyway.
You could still use it. You might find something. I don't know. You never know.
Does Rose have
Well-
speak with the dead?
Oh my god, let's get some ashes. We'll reanimate the ashes.
I mean, it's Rose. Rose is made of fire. I mean, if
anyone could
anyone could do it, it'd be Rose.
Yeah.
I mean, Sire Lionheart.
Reincarnate to bring...
Cyan,
Yes?
well, yeah, because Rose asked Lionheart about that last time if they had tried to pry the dead for answers, and that is a huge taboo in Fae culture. That can backfire
Mhm.
real easily.
Yeah, but
Oh, yeah.
no.
It's true. Where did you get your information? The dead king himself!
Damn it, Luminasa!
We are so bad at this. Bars
So
just
yeah, I
slammed
need investigation checks. If you want to cast detect magic, you never know, might come up with something.
What do you mean,
I'm...
There we go. And since I could cast it ritually, I'll just waste the 10 minutes to actually,
I'm going to channel divinity my investigation,
Okay.
and that's going to be a total of 22.
22, 28, okay. So we'll start with Freas first. As you begin to cast ritual magic and kind of bring your magic to force to kind of open your senses. As you open your senses to the world around you, you do get multiple different feelings of magic coming from one of the side rooms, one of the smaller rooms. Various. You begin to look around the main hall itself, looking around vases, the planters, the tapestries, and the like. Nothing really stands out. However, in one of the vases, you kind of look in and you realize that there is a toy lodged at the very bottom of it. It looks old, it looks covered in dust. Rose, you don't find anything of note. You do know that the rooms are unlocked, actually. The first room you find looks to be a room that has four poster beds on each side of the room. There are chests all over the place filled with different items and objects. But a big standout feature of this room is that there's no lights on. It hasn't, and from what you can tell, that there is a layer of dust over everything. This room hasn't been used in a long time. It looks almost like a children's room.
Darius is going to reach in and pull out the toy.
It looks like a small wooden horse that has like little rolling wheels.
What a boring toy.
Freys will pipe up and be like, I'm at least detecting something over here. If we could take a look in this room.
It is the room that Rose is currently looking in, which is the children's room.
Oh.
Watch, you're just detecting Rose.
I sent magic just staring at Rose. Rose is like, the hell?
No. The magic little pings are coming from inside the room and all over the room.
Well, if Rose is already in the room, Freys will go in and start looking.
It is quite dark in the room. None of the candles or the chandeliers are lit.
Dark vision.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything
And
about
also
anything about the decor of the room, like any sort of theme or anything that would suggest what the anything signifies the type of person that would have occupied it previously?
On one side, it's a bit more. I say that on one side, you can definitely see that there is an old straw dummy, as well as different play weapons, dull knives, adventure books along the shelves that depict like fantastical heroes and the like. There is a ornate shield on the wall. The four-poster bed is a bit more on the simple side. Doesn't have a whole lot of cushions and stuff like that. It seems very simple, very modest. On the other side of the room, however, there is lots of glitz and glam. The four-poster bed is covered in glimmering shawls and veils. There's pillows everywhere. There's tons of stuffed animals that look like pigs, specifically.
No.
More importantly, it's almost as if there's a slight coat of glitter to the dust on that side of the room.
Freas.
Hmm.
Does this side of the room remind you of someone?
Indeed. Just a little bit, though. Is she detecting any magic from that side?
You're detecting magic from all over the place.
Damn, like nothing specific.
several of the pings are coming from the toy chests that are throughout the room.
Let's open the toy chest.
On what side of the room do you want to open it on?
Uh-oh.
Quote unquote Flix's side.
Do you want to check the chest for any traps?
These are royals. Why would I do that?
The moment you open the chest, you hear the distinct sound of a string snapping. And
Deck save!
Deck save, yeah.
How dare you go near my toy chest?
You get a face full of glitter that just poof out of the chest.
Glitter bomb.
Rose just notices Phrase, lean down, throw the lid open, big cloud of glitter, and now she's just covering her face, screaming, rolling on the floor.
So
Ah.
it was you.
I'm gonna go check this other chest.
Grace, stop screaming. I will do prestidigitation to get the glitter off.
So,
Stop rolling around.
Luminosa.
Best of luck
As
with
you-
that.
Luminosa. As you enter the room, you sort of gravitate to the more glitz and glamour side of the room. More importantly, to the bed, where several large, plushy pigs with little wings and distorted eyes rest on a very well-made bed.
Oh, they're all dirt pigs. I love it.
As you pick up one of them, for a moment, it's as if you're alone in the room. I'm pulling you to another channel!
Pizza time!
Throw me back.
What?
She grabbed me instead of Ellie. That was scary.
Fool, I have already had my pizza time.
Did you know that they made a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game recently?
Oh, it looks so good.
Yeah, I saw quite a few people were streaming it when it first came out. What do you think glitter pizza tastes like?
Ugh.
Luminescent.
Luminescent. Glow
So
in
you're-
the dark pizza. Is there any glow in the dark stuff that is edible?
I
Technically uranium, but you can't eat it for very long.
uh bruh.
I don't think that's how that works.
You know, one tablespoon of uranium is like 8,000 calories. Or 80,000 calories, I should say.
Why does uranium have a caloric value?
Because everything that burns has a calorific value.
We're back!
Oh no! I mean, yay!
Howdy.
So, how'd it go?
So at that moment, when I snap back, I go, "Oh my god, I was kidnapped!"
What?
By whom?
Jericho and Florence, they kidnapped me. Or the evil versions of them.
Why?
Or they were smiling evilly and they were still good.
Why would they kidnap you?
Well, apparently I was a prince.
So they, who aren't allowed in this place, snuck in, kidnapped you, for what reason?
You don't know.
I don't know.
Well, that's certainly something we'll have to ask them once.
Maybe they
We've-
wanted good music played.
Well, then
So
why
this
would
brings up something. This brings up something else. You are the prince, correct?
Your
Or
head
the
hurts
princess.
a lot, Luminosa.
What? Sorry, Nova?
Your head hurts a lot.
I need... give me a... And I just sort of flop on the bed.
Oh, good, this is happening.
Into the pigs.
Mhm.
What
There's a lot of pigs.
Oh dear.
While this is going on, Rose goes over to the other more adventurous side of the room, and we'll first of all check to make sure there's nothing funny with that toy chest.
Roll me an investigation first.
Oh, good thing this lasts for 10 minutes. I saw proficiency. 18.
Or no.
I'd say that you're able to definitely see if there is a rope or spring trap attached to this chest. Yep. Now I would need a sleight of hand if you want to disable it.
Okay, we are going to, well, since fire primordial, we're just going to try and hand weld that off. So, yeah, sleight of hand then.
Okay.
Or I guess, hand torch cutter thing. Yeah. Yeah! Oh boy.
Funny enough, it's enough because as you're getting ready to sort of weld this open, you realize this was done by a child. It's a very simple trap that you can pretty much just reach to the side, disconnect the wire, and that's it. It's a very simple trap.
Oh, okay. That was anticlimactic. Opening it up.
And inside is lots and lots of what looks to be old writing material, drawings of dragons, of knights, several different wooden toys that look to be carved, and a carving knife inside of the chest as well. There is a gleam to the knife, as if it's magical.
Well, Rose will, pick up the knife and will, well, right, since Miriam is a little occupied at the moment, it's just going to, tuck it away for the time being.
Okay. You received an unidentified skinning knife. Or carving knife, sorry, carving knife.
Both are not reassuring at this point in time.
I mean, I did say that there are several wood-carved animals inside the chest as well, with the knife.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, it's a magical knife and... Oh.
As you take the knife, though, East, several of the wooden figures begin to shake and quiver a little bit as they begin to spring to life. Little horses, little cats start crawling around the box, making a little bit of a ruckus. So there's a lot of just clattering and clunking in the chest.
Uh-huh.
Find anything interesting over there, Rose?
Yeah, there's, found this, carving knife in here. Seems to maybe have some magical property. That's what I was hoping, Miriam could take a look at it once, she's free.
Various, ever since Rose opened that chest and took the knife out, the wooden horse that you found seems to be trying to wiggle free of your grasp. It suddenly sprung to life.
And it sets it down.
And it starts galloping over to the chest that Rose is sifting around in, and it will try to headbutt his knees. In fact, many of the toys are trying to attack you, the best way to say.
Yeah, those legs are still tender from earlier. Ow, ow, no, please don't.
As for Freyas, as you're looking into the magical chest, you see sheet music, more specifically. You see different little magical baubles here and there, jewelry, a jewelry making kit specifically.
No, Jibs. Oh no!
Is it just the sheet music, little baubles, and the jewelry making kit?
Mm-hmm. The jewelry making kit does seem enchanted, though. At least from what your detect magic can pull off. The panic is attacking me. Yeah, you're basically being Toy Story attacked here, Rose.
Oh god.
Excuse me, Luminosa. Since this would be your old stuff, would you mind if we take this and presents the jewelry making kit?
Luminosa is clawing at their head on the bed right now and has knocked the hat off.
Why do I just see that they have one of the
Oh.
pigs like over their head?
Yeah, it's actually like to the point that it also like ripped the mask off and they're sort of hiding under the pigs.
The pigs are very soft, very plush.
What's happening here?
And there are like jets of blonde hair flipping out behind the black like mat or black over thing that goes over the head and neck.
So
What was that?
Rose does focus their attention over on Luminosa, and their eyes will linger for a moment. Then she's trying to cut through the darkness of her past.
All the while, several of the toys are trying to attack your legs.
Rose is already
silent.
I think they may be AFK.
I'm here.
Okay.
Jim went
I know that look too well.
Sorry.
You're pretty sure some of the horse and cat looking ones are trying to now bite your legs, Rose. That's a little wooden toys biting you.
Rose is going to pull the knife back out and it's going to like just not point it at the toys, but just kind of holds it out in the open just to see if the toys are responding differently.
Nope.
I don't think the toys appreciate me holding onto this knife.
Have you tried giving them a command?
Sit. Stand.
Nothing.
That's because you're not the owner of the knife.
Oh, it's one of those enchantments that would make sense.
The fat person about you. Basically, yeah.
Joke's on you! Primordials are immune to that!
Luminosa's face is sitting on the bed. Ooh, does anyone notice that? Chips does.
Yes. It's...
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
Here's a whole bunch, monkey. Go
And the
Also, it is the 2-hour mark, so would you guys like to take our 15-minute break here? Get some drinks and go to the bathroom?
that works for me.
Okay.
Goes-
I gotta go to the bathroom. Bad. So 15-minute break starting.